with another episode of the Average Guy Podcast on the Average Guy Studios, man. Yeah, it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. It's a new week. Yeah, man. And on that note, what I got to do before I get into all the other bullshit, before I get to everything else in the show, I need to make sure I shout out the people, you know what I'm saying, that's been rocking with us over the last week. Yeah, man. So how's everybody been? You know what I'm saying? I've been good. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? My week has been cool. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in the United States, man. Shout out to the family in Canada. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to everybody in Mexico, man. Appreciate the love, man. Shout out to everybody in Jeff City, man. Hey. You know what I'm saying? I feel the love. I feel the love. Hold on, what was that? Bellevue, Illinois. Shout out to y'all. And I don't know where that is, dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to B Cakes. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. I think that's Brandy. So yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to Cash. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cash. And weird big dog. I'm confused. Hold on. Yeah, man. So with all that being said, let's get into what we'll be talking about today. We'll be talking about YBN Almighty Jay and his little incident that he had this last week. Also, we will be touching on the ADOS movement, which is American descendants of slavery. And is it a ploy for the gay agenda? You know what I'm saying? We'll be talking about that as well. We'll also be talking about Jay Prince and his and how he, I guess Jay Prince is somehow not officiated. Well, yeah, kind of like placed himself in with the YBN group. You know what I'm saying? So he has money ties into those young men, and we'll be talking about that. Wait, what was going on, big dog? Hold on, man. Yeah, I will be right back. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right back. I gotta figure something out real quick. Hold on. Dude. Or did I say something different? That I'm tripping. Oh, okay. I got you. You know what I'm saying? All right. And I am back, folks. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, man. Talk about this. The young man, YBN Almighty Jay, and he got his face sliced open. I actually got the picture for y'all. Hold on, real quick. Let me pull that thing up for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and let me first and foremost say this is kind of graphic. So if you have a weak stomach, you know what I'm saying, make sure you don't watch if you have a weak stomach. But yeah, it'll be only like less than 2-3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But here it is right here. I'm about to show you guys what his face looked like. Allegedly, he got scraped up with a Hennessy bottle. You know what I'm saying? With a broken Hennessy bottle. So, I mean, yeah, man.
What you talking about?
We starting off with YBN Almighty Jay and his little incident, and then we're gonna also bring up how what's his name, Jay Prince was involved in this. But yeah, man, that's his face right there. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, it is a little graphic. So if you have a weak stomach, please turn away now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get off of that real quick and let's continue with the story. So yeah, YBN Almighty Jay, he got into altercation. He got into an altercation in New York City where he got jumped. I think it was like 3 times where his group and another group met up, and I'm guessing it was fair. You know what I'm saying? And they shot. It was a little brawl that they had. Then I guess later on that night, or later on the evening time, they met up, or they caught him by himself, and then they jumped him. And then I don't know if they caught him again or if they chased him into a building. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not for sure about that either. But yeah, they caught him a 3rd time. Then that's when they took his chain and they fucking fondled his booty and everything else. and they was robbing him for all his money and everything else. So yeah, man.
Did they really find? I heard motherfuckers saying that shit. Did they really fondle him in his ass? I saw his pants came down or something, but I heard motherfuckers making that joke. But did he really do that? I didn't see that.
One of the niggas was reaching for some cheeks, dog. He was reaching for some cakes, and it wasn't the ones you could eat. Well,
they tried to super violate him like they said they do. Like them boys said they do. Teriyaki sauce.
Hell yeah, man. They was gunning for cheeks. But yeah, man. Yeah. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I've never really heard him like rap about like super hood shit, but I don't really listen to him too much. I listen to Cartier and YBN Namir more than I listen to Almighty Jay. But I mean, hey, you enticed the wolves, dog. Like you was flexing, I guess hours before that, and you were talking about your drip, and you just enticed the wolves, and the wolves came out, dog. You in New York City. Everybody needs to make sure they remind themselves it's about to be summertime. Spring is coming, summertime's gonna be here, and the wolves is out. So yeah, the winter's over. You know what I'm saying? No Game of Thrones. But yeah, what is your thoughts on it, Ryan? I mean, Corey, my bad.
Wolves is out all the time, man. Wolves is out all the time. Always got to understand your surroundings, and like it's why we can do this tough talk. Rappers always want to be tough and let me move around with no security. There should always be somebody around to educate them on that, but you just never know. I can't speak on the situation because you never know what's talked about behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure sometimes there's situations where people do, but when you got a lot of yes men, they gonna agree with whatever you say. So you say I don't need you around or this and that. They gonna that's what it's gonna be. The no real argument because. You can't force somebody to have that around them, but like I said, whether there's an argument about that or not, remains to be seen because they're not understanding the state of the youth today, specifically the young black youth and how they think it. Everybody's looking for that quick come up, especially here in the social media age, Instagram and all that. Because they know it's going to get hits. They know it's going to get attention like it is now. That's exactly what happened. It ended up getting attention. So you as a rapper, you're always at risk for that. You're always at risk. And then when you're a rapper that, moves in the same vein like YBN Almighty Jay, I've seen some of some of his antics. Like you said, on them talking about my drip and, flossing on, front of the things and, talking about niggas hating on me and this and that. And you involved in many antics, people, you gravitate that type of fuck shit towards you. Another thing, if you know about, who's that guy, I think Skinny from the 9, that little silly kid who was signed by Shotty. Along with teriyaki sauce. Just a couple weeks ago, they were showing that YBN Almighty Jay was robbing them. Now, he said robbing them on camera, and they were investigating. Police was investigating that. Now, the Skinny from the 9 dude said it was fake or whatever, but, it's still fuck shit. It's promoting fuck shit, whether it was fake or not. I don't even know what the reasoning behind it was, but they said allegedly it was him, Almighty Jay, on camera robbing them. So even on that, when people see, we don't throw the properties of life into many situations. We like to leave that out. And one thing that I've noticed constantly is, like many people have noticed, is the things you do, whether it's dealt with, in the court of law or whatever, or in a physical form, it's going to come back to you. It may be something that's not even related to a situation that's not even related. But a lot of times those actions that we make, everything has a consequence. That energy you put out in the world, it could come back to you. And so, unfortunately, this is what we got. You know what I'm saying? And it's a terrible thing. That's why we need to make a even stronger effort on educating the youth. You know what I'm saying, and trying to get them on the not trying. You know, get up in there, get up in their ass, and talk to them the same way you talk to. You know what I'm saying. Talk to anybody else when it's something serious. You know, you ain't trying to handle shit with kitty gloves because this is a serious situation. I mean, just look at the number of bodies, you know what I'm saying, dropping around the country, you know what I'm saying, year by year in every city. And it's just been happening over the past 30 to 40 years, just a high body count. There's, from what I know, there's been no body count or no amount of violence that can equal up to that in any time in American history. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that's just being ignored. So we talking about, you know, they start talking about black on black violence, stuff like that. We started, well, white people kill white people, Asians kill Asians, stuff like that. Yeah, of course that. But there's a specific problem that's happening amongst these so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That their numbers are skyrocketed way higher than anybody else. And that's on top of that with them only being 13% of the population. So it's something that we got to deal with. Something that we got to deal with the mindset. Just going out and just stomping, you know, young guy, you know what I'm saying, because he's got money or he may have said something and doing it like that in the middle of the street, man. That's a huge problem. That's a huge problem.
Yeah, man. Everything you said, I definitely do agree with. It's just I don't know when these niggas will learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, when flexing goes wrong, you know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, at least that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? When you flex on the what's the name, and like I said, the wolves are out. You know what I'm saying? And niggas like, yo, I'm hungry. You looking real sweet to me right now. And I'm not trying to say anything where it's alluding to somebody's being gay or nothing like that. When somebody calls somebody sweet, that means you're a lick, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're easy to get. You know what I'm saying? So the niggas like, yo, you looking real sweet to me right now, and with me and all my dudes, oh yeah, we can pull you off of whatever you got in your pockets or whatever you got around your neck and shit like that. All right, so yeah, man, let's move over to Jay Prince. So Jay Prince got into all this. You know what I'm saying? Jay Prince is a legend. OG back in the day, you know what I'm saying? He's had his hand in this rap game for years and years and years. He has a bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? Jay Prince Jr., I'll just say all the Prince sons and stuff like that.
Been linked with a lot of stuff, man. Legend down in Houston, Rap a Lot Records. CEO of Rap a Lot Records, been linked with, you know, UGK, man, Zero, man, all them cats down in Houston, Ghetto Boys, and not just Houston, but, you know, all around the country people all around the country. From, you know, Yuck Mouth, and just a whole bunch of people. He's all over on the West Coast, so everybody knows about Jay Prince.
Yeah, so pretty much, I guess he has ties. He has ties in with the YBN boys. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that for one, and I didn't know that was his chain that they snatched. You know what I'm saying? So what I thought. Like, all right, I'll be honest with you, when I think of Jay Prince, you know what I'm saying, I'm thinking of the legend, you know what I'm saying, where he'll make a phone call, you know what I'm saying. I didn't think he would do this social media thing. He went to social media, and you know what I'm saying, if something was to happen to the dude, all eyes point at Jay Prince.
Right.
Which is fucked up. At least to me, it's fucked up. So I'm just like, dog, like, as a young nigga who looked up to you, you know what I'm saying? Or I'm not gonna say looked up to, but as a young dude who like looked up and was like, yo, this dude has a legacy, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's no doubt that his legacy is cemented in this rap game and in probably some other games, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, I was just like, dog, that's a young man's game. I don't think you should be doing that. And he tagged like a lot of the Bronx rappers and stuff like that. A lot of the New York Bronx rappers. Like the prominent Bronx rappers, and was like, yo, if any of you, and he actually named the kid by name, you know what I'm saying? He's like, if any of you guys know of this kid, if he's like your family member, friend, or something like that, let him know to give back my chain, you know what I'm saying? Because when you snatch something from YBN Almighty Jay that belongs to me, you know what I'm saying, you messing with my You're messing with us. You know what I'm saying? You're messing with family. So pretty much, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, so what is your thoughts on that, man? Hold on.
I had a lot of mixed thoughts on that. At first, you know, I jumped out the window because I was like, you know, Jay Prince, you're not speaking on real situations. I don't see you, you know, when it's real situations and, you know, going on and, you know, within the black community and things like that, or, you know what I'm saying, it's something, you know, in the court system, people being wronged. I haven't seen you really speaking on that, but I want to retract that because I took a look at he does speak some positivity. He has that definitely on his account. I just believe he needs to keep the consistency, you know what I'm saying, and not feed into it because, you know, no matter how the violence, you have to stand your ground and let people know that you're not to be played with, but at the same time, you can't, at least try not to promote it. Don't put it out there. And it's best, you know, really not to, violence only begets violence. Mm-hmm. No matter how it is. A lot of the stuff, you know, that happens in the hood, you know, anywhere is, a lot of it's retaliation. And all it just leads to a never-ending cycle. Now, you have to defend yourself, but going out on a limb to try to prove a point or, you know, hey, it's about respect and this and that. Yeah, they need to respect that, but, you know, they need to respect that. But, you know, calling out, you know, it should have been handled in the streets. You know, calling out, you know, rappers who, you know, who knows what's going on in these rappers' lives and putting it on, you know, Instagram. I'll read some of what he was saying because, you know, I did have a problem with some of it.
All right.
So, where's that? So what he said, you know, mob ties called to my real street niggas around the world, but especially on the East Coast in the Bronx. There's a clown by the name of Zay. Apparently that's the guy who was with Almighty Jay and robbed him. And his crew who want to become famous by bragging about robbing rap industry niggas. They recently bragged about robbing the artist YBN Almighty Jay, whom I invested in. So, you know, it's something that's personal. It's definitely a personal, and, you know, people don't take stuff personal when somebody's dealing with their fun, dealing with their business. Yeah, you want to put that out there.
Right.
They've robbed him of his money and jewelry, including a Rap-A-Lot piece. So therefore, they have robbed a piece of me. This is a perfect opportunity to execute our unity where we don't allow moment thinkers to muddy the water over the movement. With that being said, to the homies in the Bronx, if any of these clowns are y'all family or friends, speak now so we can get an understanding. To ignore this is a recipe for a disaster. Other than that, it's these clowns versus the realest niggas in every hood around the world, and that's the meaning of mob ties. So, yeah, man. Like I said, man, I blame more the media for, you know, because we focus on different things, and a lot of times they do want to bring a focus on the things like that, but it's just, you know, bad news circles faster than good news because he's had good posts, and those aren't the things that go viral. So when I looked at this and I'm thinking like, okay, you know, what's going on, you know, making threats and this and that, and, you know, he hopped up into Drake and Pusha T thing and telling him, you know what I'm saying, this could go far, and, you know,
he was like, what'd he say? He said, we don't play where pigs play, or some shit like that, because pigs get slaughtered.
Yeah, you know, and talking like that, you know, you gotta calm your words, you know what I'm saying, but I think on the low, we're more looking into it. I think Jay Prince is trying to do some things to help, help the community. He positions himself. He doesn't, you know, show himself in a very sloppy way. But yeah, you know, tagging all these artists and trying to put them into it and things like that. It's just, it's got to be. You got to have more. I thought you'd have more street power than that. You know, you just tagging a bunch of guys. A lot of these guys are just rappers. you're just tagging rappers. So you're taking it out of the streets or whatever, and you're trying to get them involved, and they have no idea of what the hell is going on, and that could be a recipe for disaster because you going them and sending them in there to go handle these young niggas, and you could get them into some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Young niggas ain't trying to hear shit, so it's your issue. You have to go in there and handle that issue. You know what I'm saying? It's your problem. They robbed your artist. So, yeah, that's something that should be handled by you. And let's see. When I first noticed it, my son responded. My son was one of the ones that was tagged in it. My son was a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Very conscious rapper, conscious and street. You know what I'm saying? Back in the late '90s, early 2000, did a jail stint. Really didn't get out, so he was in jail for a while, and that's what he was known for. That's what I knew him when I started seeing, hearing about my son's name back in the day.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Real quick, Corey. Corey, real quick. Make sure you hit that exit button because I don't want people to see whoever's Instagram page that is on the bottom.
Where's that at?
That little X button. You know what I'm saying? Because it says sign in on the bottom of that. And
that's my wife. That's my wife's shit. But y'all go to her, show her, blow her shit up too.
Okay, all right, that's cool. I didn't know if y'all wanted that.
Yeah, blow her shit up too. Now, but yeah, he said, I'm not gonna read all of it, but yeah, he basically said he doesn't condone anything of it. You know what I'm saying? But condone any of it. He felt the message was inappropriate. He think he should have contacted him because, contact him behind the scenes and let it be handled in the streets. But like you said, Randy, you talking about it out in the open, and then something happens. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to get everybody involved in that shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And, we don't get everybody involved and, telling them it's a recipe for a disaster if this doesn't get handled and things like that. What type of message are you putting out there? So, like I said, it's just a bad look. It's a bad look all in all. And like I said, we as black folks, we got to get this shit together. I need more consistency from Jay Prince, because what if nothing happens? What if nobody says anything or decides to do anything? Then what's going to happen? You going to go kill those kids? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You going to go kill those kids? So, you're perpetuating the same type of violence that you claim to be against, that you're speaking out against and trying to change the world about. You're doing the same thing, and that's all that goes on in the hood nowadays. There's no, you got good guys and bad guys and things like that. People do foul shit, but it's just a never-ending cycle. He killed my brother. I was just watching Infomons and about the story of Miss T up in Harlem and things like that. It was talking about how she guys on both sides, and one guy he killed a friend, somebody that she knew or something like that. They came back and killed that guy, and the guy's younger brother, who had nothing to do in the streets, went on a rampage and started shooting up everybody in the fucking whoever he thought had something to do with it, because he was so just destroyed over the death of his brother.
And then mentality. I said the eye for an eye mentality.
Right. And then now you're destroying, now you killed them, and now somebody who don't have nothing to do with the streets on that side, or maybe they do, but they moving cool or whatever, and they don't even want to get into that, or they not trying to, get into no murder, trying to take nobody's life, but now you ruin their lives and you ruin their psyche now. And so now it just continues a never-ending cycle, because, no matter how that person, what type of lifestyle that person indulged into, that person was still dear to them, still held very dear to them. And that's why the eye for an eye, the eye for an eye mentality just doesn't work in the end. I understand that, and you do want to have a cutoff point to where you have to stand your ground and say, hey, nah, we're not going to stand for this shit. But to just But you know, promoting that type of thing and putting that out there as if it's all right, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you gotta kill everybody that kills you, or take one person. It's not gonna work. It never has worked, and that's why you gotta respect people like Dr. Martin Luther King, because we wouldn't even be here had he taken, you know, we wouldn't even be here to be able to fight another day and get to where we at had he taken that route. God put whatever on his mind and said, hey, move like this so you can get, you know, at least get your guys half a foot up in the door to where they can have some wiggle room. We still, you know what I'm saying, under the thumb of that same type of system, but we got a little wiggle room where we can, you know what I'm saying, do something now. And, you know, like I said, you can't just let anything slide, but at the same time, there has to be a method to it, and you can't just go out shooting everybody.
Right, yeah.
It creates a complete cycle. So now this is an unfortunate situation. YBN Almighty Jay, he need to get his guns up, and they have that type of aura. I like the Corday kid. I like him. He doesn't bring that type of energy, but like YBN Amir, you know, rapping about guns and shit like that, you know, talking about that, you know.
Only 17, riding with a stick. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's not. We can all see that's just not. That's not their lifestyle. They met each other playing video games and things like that. When you involved in stuff like that, you know, the streets heavy and things like that, you're gonna have some of those guys with you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's gonna be with you. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna show. You know, he just doesn't. He's not cut from that type of cloth. So when you sit up there talking about guns and things like that, that's the type of energy that you bring in, and it may not directly get you, but can get the people around you. So you got to be very careful about the messages that you put in your music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. One thing before we move to the next thing, the next topic. You just said something. It's something to hit a nigga heart. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I used to go through. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can do something, and I know what this will do. I know this will be so inflammatory that it will get my homies and or family members caught up in the middle of this. And if something was to happen, like and I caused it, you know what I'm saying? And like knock on wood and shit like that. But like if one of my homies was to die and it was because of me, nigga, I have to live with that. I have to live with the fact that I have to go to his parents or his mom and dad and be like, yo, I really do apologize. The reason what happened was it was something that I lost my temper and he was backing me up, or he was holding me down, you know what I'm saying? And he got hit and I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So every day, nigga, I'm gonna live with that shit. You know what I'm saying? So you motherfuckers, you have to learn if you want to live with some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's some heavy shit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not really cut of the same ilk. You know what I'm saying? And you probably wasn't born the way I was born either, or in the same era.
You gotta understand, and you gotta understand your environment also. Understand what you're dealing with, and you know, to understand what you're dealing with. You know, the streets is a whole another animal, so you gotta always understand, you know, who and what you're dealing with at all times, because you already know shit can go left. You know what I'm saying? There's they can talk about rules and shit like that, but there are no rules. If you want perfect example, you know what I'm saying? More perfect example. Look up the reason why Mace left Harlem. Look at why Mace left Harlem and became a preacher. Now, Mace wasn't wrong why it started. You know, Mace put out a diss about a real street cat. And the real street cat wanted to see him. Mace went into hiding, so the street cat started touching people who was surrounded, who was known by Mace and things like that. And dog, it just, the whole thing spiraled out of control. People start dying, and he had to get the fuck up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So you know your surroundings. You know, don't be scared. You know, you don't gotta be scared or hold your tongue. Say like, stand on what you stand on, especially if it's something that's truth. Always stand. I'm all for standing on truth, and I want people around me to know that I'm gonna stand on truth. So that is something that could put people around me in harm. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't like the truth. But I'm going to stand on the truth. So understand who you're dealing with when you're dealing with me.
Right.
When you're dealing with me, and a person can't leverage the people. I just put that, Facebook and stuff. People can't leverage the people around me because there are a lot of times that's used as a tool. Now I'm gonna do everything to keep the people around me, keep them safe and keep them in the safety area. But you can't sit up there and say, "Hey, I'm gonna kill your child if you don't stop." If you don't stop telling the truth about this and that, or trying to help, this situation or whatever like that. I'm the type of I can understand why a person would stop. That's not who I am. That's not who I am, because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than my child. But at the same time, I'm going to put myself out in the front and make sure that it doesn't even try to make sure as much as possible it don't even get. And I don't have no kids right now, but just even speaking on that child, family members anyway, I'm going to put myself out front to make sure it doesn't even reach that point. Once you start threatening the kid and threatening my family, things like that, I got to get at you now. Now, understand that I do have to get at you, and I do have to take measures, but you got to be calculated with the way you move. Don't go telling everybody and doing the shit and then telling everybody, I did this and that. No, it's about keeping your family protected, and you take any threat seriously. You take any threat seriously. So but yeah, man, that's.
And to leave off, to finally leave off of this, you know what I'm saying? Just remember what one of my OGs told me: real G's move in silence. Remember that, y'all. Remember that.
You move in silence. You know what I'm saying? Don't go talking about it. Don't go, like you said, James Prince, he tagging talking about this. Now the cops, you can sit there and try to talk all subliminal all you want. People aren't stupid. So they gonna know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. If you got a beef with a person or something like that, and it's like that, don't even mention it. But a lot of times that's what it is. A lot of people indulge in it. Not everybody, but because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that even I know about that's going on in Kansas City, stuff like that that don't get talked about at all. But a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you got people, they'll sit up there and go telling everybody and this and that because even though it's something that may be personal, there's a persona that comes along with it that they know that they can exploit, and it can get them more, a better view on, more views or whatever, more attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, I caught me a body one time, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It may have been something completely serious and something that was something that was justified. You defending yourself, and self-defense isn't just, hey, I saw him raising a pistol, so I shot him, because, in that happens fast. So you can't wait for a person to react. But we do have to have that mental discernment and do our best to keep ourselves out of situations that can lead to that. And we have to tell our kids that, to keep yourself out of situations that can lead to that. We have enough intel and information now to where we can say, yeah, if you're doing this, we'll just look at the experience, look at it all through the years, everything shit's been through. We have the information to say now that, you do this, there's a high possibility that this is the path that your life or whatever, you're going to go through a situation like this because of you made that decision just to hang out there or whatever. We can make an excuse for the people, back in the day or something because it was all new. They dropped drugs in the hood, shit like that. It's like, hey, it's a perfect opportunity to make some money. That shit spiraled out of control, man. We talk about the murders and shit is high now, and it's still ridiculous. That shit was astronomical back then, dog. They were killing, people were dying and going to jail left and fucking right, dog. So we have something to look at now. We have something to look at and study and know what road and what path not to go down. And it's up to us to keep each other, not just the kids, but keep each other and put that in our heads so we know exactly what to do in these situations.
Hell yeah. All right, so moving to the next thing, man. People are accusing the ADOS movement for being a front for the LGBTQ movement. And the ADOS, if you guys don't know what that is, it's American Descendants of Slavery.
Yeah.
And I'll let Corey start this off first because I know he knows a little bit more than I do. So go ahead. I'll let you start
man.
off.
So man, at night, Carmine, you know, this is something that's been it has caused sort of a divide within. It's something that we knew would divide America because people just aren't educated enough on different things, you know, on things like that. But it had to be known that it would cause a divide in the black community also, because a lot of black people, like I said, they don't even understand fully about their history. They haven't gone into the deep, you know what I'm saying, deep-rooted problems and things that have gone on. And so it's caused a divide. And that was part of the reason. We'll get into Bernie Sanders on Thursday, but I can't rock with him because he's talking about, you know, they asked him, why don't you support ADOS and things like that? It'll cause a divide, and I don't want that, because it's not about educating anybody or keeping it real, you know what I'm saying, and really being about change. It's all politics. It's all politics to him, you know what I'm saying, because he's sure enough sponsored a bill that allowed the Jewish community to receive reparations. That causes a divide, because it's like black folks are looking like, what about us? That causes the divide amongst people. But he seems to, you know, it's something that maybe it's an oversight or whatever. I refuse to believe it's an oversight. I think it's just more selfishness, and he's just in it for politics. This ADOS movement, you know, a lot of people, they want to be included in on something too. And I'm saying, like, you know, if you take care of the issues on things that happened back in the day, you know, in the group that was actually targeted, you know, you help that. A lot of people could benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? You just all you're doing is rising more people, you know, helping raise them. And especially in the black community, we're still all black, but not everybody is an American descendant of slaves, because it gets muddied up, because then now anybody can just come from the country, whether they're from some Ethiopia or over in Europe or Jamaica, wherever. Now they can just come over and say, hey, I'm black too, so now where's my reparations and stuff like that, or they can just hop up in it.
Right.
No, it should be for descendants of slavery, and that should be repaid. And that payment to them will affect everybody. It'll affect everybody black, because it was something that black people were targeted on. But I was disappointed. I saw Irritated Genie. He indicated this is a new way to slander. He said it's a front for the LBGT movement, all for the simple fact because Yvette Carnell is a lesbian. It's far from the truth. She is a lesbian, but it's just so far from the truth. I hear him talking about how, you know, Boyce Watkins and, you know, and her used to have a problem and things like that. Now Boyce Watkins is supporting it, but, you know, they had a problem back then and this and that. I've seen talking about how Yvette Carnell and Tyreek Nasheed, who you see on the screen, have had issues. But this something, they understand what's at stake. So when it comes to that, now they're business minded. They're becoming practical. They put all their petty differences to the side because it's bigger than them. And they understand what's at stake. Nothing that Yvette Carnell has had anything to do. I've been listening to her for a while now. Nothing she's ever talked about. She has never even, you wouldn't even know she was if you didn't, if it wasn't, you know, you could kind of look at her and tell she, you know, she might be swinging that direction. But if the information wasn't there or whatever, you wouldn't even know, because not once has it ever came out of her mouth. That's not what she talks about. She's talking, her thing is economics. So it's just crazy to slander this and say, you know, because she's a leader, LBGT and stuff like that, that she's a leader. And And that's what irritated. I mean, that's what irritated Genie's been speaking about for a while. You know what I'm saying? He calls out the homosexual and pedophile agenda that goes on in Hollywood, but then it comes across as if you just have a complete problem with people who choose that lifestyle, or not choose, or were born with that lifestyle. And he may be something. I saw somebody put on Facebook, put a post that homosexuals aren't born that way. It's something that's learned, and that's something that is completely far from the truth. That I thought that's what it was before, but it's not. It's not. It's something that they're born with. How it gets there, how the imbalance comes, I don't know. It is an imbalance. It's a mental problem. The same way a lot of pedophilia, things like that, or different things people just attracted to or whatever, other than female or things like that. They're talking about those weird things. Like I told you that story about how the guy, I was watching one of the serial killers, and he became obsessed. He realized he was obsessed with young boys and dead young boys when he saw a car crash and saw the young boy laying his lifeless body laying there. And he realized that he had a fetish for that type of thing. That's something that's just far beyond them. And a lot of these guys ask to get it. I've seen guys sit there and ask to get put away because they can't control themselves. So it's some type of chemical imbalance, something is going on, and that's why we need to be careful about our health, all type of things, especially when dealing with the woman and pregnancy and the things that we ingest, because I'm not saying that this is the direct correlation, but a lot of these things, it has been proven that a lot of these things, these bad foods, things like that, the thing, just environment, it causes mental unstableness or disability, mental disability.
Right.
And yeah, that's just what it is. That's what that is. It is a mental disability in my eyes because it's not something that sustains life. It's anti-life because you can't sustain life with two individuals, of the same sex. It's completely impossible. But then, they're trying to make that happen now. All you're going to do is just throw shit off even more. It was completely irresponsible for him to even equate this. There's nothing that even connects to the ADOS movement. ADOS movement is about getting the American descendants of slaves what they're owed for building the country, not only building the country, but helping, usher in more people, providing what we have, the freedoms that not only we as black people have, but everybody has today. And, it even goes deeper than that, because even past slavery, then you have the Jim Crow era and, different things that were carried out to literally keep the black man down. Don't have them, let them build up or anything. There's literally a concerted effort to keep the black man down, whether people want to believe that or not. All you have to do is do your research and read, and you'll find that out. So we're owed something, but it's American descendants of slaves is something that is pinpointed. It's right to the point, and you're hitting the problem right at its root. And so it's causing a lot of division because a lot of people are selfish, and I want mine too. Like what happens a lot of times, we see in the black community, a person has a business or things like that, and everybody wants to be the fucking boss. Nobody wants to play the position. Everybody wants to be a boss, and now they want a bigger piece of the pie and things like that. And that's why nothing gets built, because everybody wants to be a boss. So all you have is a bunch of bosses, but you don't have any workers.
Right.
No workers. And so now nothing's getting done because the boss is a position too. Everybody has a position to play, and if nobody wants to play a position, all it's going to do is fizzle out. So what we're doing is hindering. We're throwing away a perfect opportunity to bring this shit to the doorstep of the government. You know what I'm saying? Even the United Nations admitted that black people should be compensated reparations. It's just it's all over the place, man. What do you think about it, man?
I mean, the main thing I gotta say is, it's another deflection tactic. That's how I feel. I definitely do feel like it's a deflection tactic. But I mean, it brings up another thing. It brings up the reparations question that I have for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So with ADOS, you know what I'm saying? Like you said before, and like I said earlier in the beginning, that it's American descendants of slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now that I'm talking about the American descendants of slavery, the question I have for everybody is, do you think that, like, all right, so say everybody gets the $500 to $1,000 a month, American, let's just say American black people, American descendants of slavery. You know what I'm saying? So your great aunties and grandmas and shit like that were all slaves, and they did all they had to do so you could be born in America. You know what I'm saying? Not anywhere overseas, not nothing like that, in America. You know what I'm saying? They worked their hide off for you to have a good life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for us to get that $1,000 to $500 a month, do you think that it's a good thing? And why? And why? Because I have I'll answer the reason why I think it could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing. But yeah,
so
I'll let you.
You're referring to actual ADOS?
Yeah,
actual ADOS, or just people in general? Because I saw the thing where Andrew Yang was speaking on giving everybody that, but you
no.
ADOS.
I'm talking about ADOS. I'm not talking about everybody. And like what Yang was talking about, we can talk about that too. But I wasn't feeling that too much what he said about everybody. But yeah, continue. My bad.
No, there should be something it should be something that's monetarily. It has to be a boost. You can't sit up there and try to start somebody. You know what I'm saying? Start a race with somebody when somebody has a boosters or they're halfway to the finish line already. You know what I'm saying? Because people think, white people, be like, oh, it was my ancestors, but I had nothing to do with it and things like that. Yeah, you didn't make that decision, but your ancestors made that decision, and they made that for a reason, to keep that position of power. See, if it wasn't like that, because they don't want to talk about that. So if that's not applicable to you and things like that, so what is the point of sustaining generational wealth then? If that's the case, fuck it, let's blow all of our money and then our kids start from scratch and we'll go from there. What's the point of sustaining generational wealth? That's what racism is. It's something that sustains over generations. Mm-hmm. So you keep one group down and keep the other in power. It's made to keep, it's not just building. They talk that black people are racist because they like to support black and do only black. That's not racism. That's I think, what's the word for that? There's a certain word for that, but I'm all for that, even if white people say that. But white people don't have the right to say that because what they've built off, it wasn't built like that. Racism is trying to build up your own and keeping another race down,
right?
Or keeping another race or group down, and implying different methods to do that. And that's what was done. That is what was done throughout the years. And so, if that was a method to get $500 or $1,000 a year, whatever method they find out, anything is just know that there's a lot that needs to be paid out. So right. They need to find a huge number because there's trillions that are owed to there's probably more than that. Who knows? Hell, America's owed. But let's just start with a number. Let's start with a number and find the right number and then divide it up from there. And people who can prove that, so because that's something that is going to be hard. But there are people that can prove. There are people out here that can prove that their grandparents or whatever were slaves and stuff. So
you're saying yes?
Huh?
So you're saying yeah?
What? That they should?
Yeah, that you think it's a good thing.
Oh, anything. They can do that. They can do that. I don't know if $500 or $1,000 or something like that is enough, but that's helpful. That's very helpful. shit, I mean, look at all the money they pay out to American Indians. You know, the American Indian, the Native Americans
I'm
every
about
year.
to bring that up.
Right, the amount of money that they send over to Israel every year, and we're talking about something that went on for centuries, not just slavery. Slavery, be like I said, Jim Crow. So it was toward black people also, but the American, you know, if you can do, but it has its roots out of slavery and everything. You know, with the black codes, you know, the black codes were the same thing as the slave codes, and they implemented the black codes after, you know what I'm saying, after the so-called emancipation of the slaves in 1865. So, nah, man, anything, you know, not anything, but there has to be something paid out. I don't think, you know, maybe $1,500. That'll help. That'll help many families. That'll help many families, but it may be more than that. There has to be a number that's set, like trillions or however much. There has to be a number that's set, and then you go from there and start doing, you know, now we start doing our math and start doing our division. So then you can now find out how much is getting paid, because if you talking about just giving $1,000 or $500 a month, you may end up paying too low. You may end up paying too low to people who are descendants of that. So they do the math and figure out how much that we need, and go from there. But yeah, there is something that needs to be paid to descendants of slaves and black. Like I said, it's hard to do it just going off the black thing, because it's been too mixed up. It's been too mixed up now. You know, just letting everybody in. Everybody comes in and stuff like that. So now everybody can lay claim to that, and that is what it is. That's why it's tough labeling yourself as black and not having your nationality intact. See, you were put in the group for a reason, because it muddies everything up now. Right. Now anybody can just hop in and, hey, you're black. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what about me? You know what I'm saying? And you may have been, who knows, you've been from Russia. You know what I'm saying? You may come from a rich family over in Russia or something, or you've been over in England and stuff like that. And, you know, now you can just come to America and say, oh, because I'm black, oh, what about me? And things like that. And that's what a lot of people who are critics of the ADOS movement, that's exactly who they are. They're immigrants. Right. They're immigrants. Yeah. They're people who immigrated over here. Black people weren't immigrants. They didn't decide to come over here. They were brought here, taken here against their will, whether it was agreed upon or not, from the people in that continent or whatever. Right. It was still against their will. It was still against their will, and they worked against their will. And what was agreed upon within the slave work was not the deal they didn't keep their word. White folks did not keep their word on what was agreed upon. Yeah, the 40 acres that and the mule. Yeah, 40 acres and the mule. Because, you know, they took advantage of them and created their businesses and everything off of the backs of those black folks. So nah, man.
You said what?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm like pretty much like you said. I do. You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice to get a smooth little extra check in the mail every month. You know what I'm saying? That would be nice. You know what I'm saying? Because I unlike everybody else, I know who my grandmother's slave owner was. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I know exactly who he is. I kind of know that family. So, but you said what? See,
and you see how that works. And see what you know in that. See, you getting broke off. See. As far as I know, and I've asked people, I need to dig deeper, but I've asked people, we really don't know. We can't go that far back in our family history personally. So that's something I may not receive anything, you know what I'm saying, as personally. I may not benefit, you know, directly from it, but I'll benefit from the people around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You when you get that, that's something, you know, we're able to build the show, so it helps the platform. You know, things like that. Exactly. You know, and so black people aren't looking at it like that. They're, what about me? What about me? Or other people who are immigrants, Africans, and stuff like that. What about me? I'm not receiving nothing, and all it's doing is just throwing the divide, and and it's shitting on Pan-Africanism and things like. No, you can still be Pan-Africanist and support ADOS.
Right.
You have to get detailed. People have to look at things with nuance and discernment and get detailed on these things. But that's something that's beyond black people. That's a societal problem that people just don't have the smarts to do, and they want to argue with you on that shit.
And I want to actually speak on that real quick. Like, me knowing some of my ancestors and stuff like that on my grandmother's side. On my grandmother on my mother's side. That's very, very good thing. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of people that don't know their ancestors and claim they're American and they're really from like Africa, but remind you, motherfuckers from Africa and Nigeria, like real Africans and Nigerians and shit like that, they don't like American black people. They fucking hate us. Like, don't let the little haha chuckle smile fool your ass. They really don't like you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, now if they get to know you, that might be a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like Jamaicans and shit like that. Don't get me wrong, everybody's cool, but they really don't like you when they come over here. They don't like to be called American black. They don't even like to be called black. I'll be honest with you. Like I've spoken to some. You know what I'm saying? They're like,
they rightfully shouldn't. They shouldn't refer to themselves as that. They should refer to themselves as
African,
wherever their nationality is.
Right.
Yeah. They shouldn't buy in. They shouldn't buy into that, because it just lumps them into a group that's lumped into that for a specific reason. Then they have reason. I don't believe they hate us or anything, because I don't see a bunch of Africans and Nigerians going around killing black folks and stuff like that. If anything, I see them a lot of times trying to join in, but they get pushed away because the way we act, the way that we present ourselves, and the way we tend to act toward them. I've seen black folks, they act terrible toward Africans sometimes. And all Africans do is come with an opinion, or or a preconceived notion on what they think all black people do or American blacks do. With some of it, there's some truth to what it is. Look at the way that we present ourselves in media and things like that. And so it's hard not to say, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. So I'm a distance myself. Shit, if I wasn't from here, I'd probably do the same thing. Distance myself, like, hey, I ain't got shit to do with that. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand that, hey, everybody that comes here is black. You know what I'm saying? Because we're Americans.
Right.
We're Americans. But we're put in a sociological group.
Categories black.
We're called black. You got black and white. They're not calling anybody else any kind of color. They're not calling Asians yellow or Hispanics brown. You don't see that anywhere on the ethnic group when you check out the box or anything.
Right.
You don't see that anywhere, but you see white and black. See white and black. So So no, I don't blame them for not subscribing. I don't blame them for not subscribing to that, but they need to understand, and it's up to us also to help them understand that shit too. And we're just not educated enough. And like I said, the way that we present ourselves, it just presents misconceptions on, all sides, man.
Yeah, and like pretty much like what I'm saying is it's a great thing. You know what I'm saying, for African Americans. I'm saying, like, literally African Americans and people that know, like, people that actually can trace their ancestors and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, to actual slave owners and stuff like that. That's fine, good and dandy. That's great. You know what I'm saying, like, get that little extra check. But like, I'm just saying, when it comes to when it what's the word I'm looking for? When it helps one group of people, but when you don't like that group of people, or you have a pre-notion, I forgot what the word was, of those group of people, preconceived notion of those people, and you don't really want to group yourself with those people. But when something that could help that group of people, like the Rachel Dolezal thing, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, black people are getting can get little scholarships, you know what I'm saying, to go to college because they're black. Oh, let me say I'm black real quick. to get that. You feel me? So it's just like you can't just hop in and hop out. You know what I'm saying? You can't be black one minute and then be African or be Nigerian the next minute. Like, oh no, I'm not African American. I am Nigerian. I am African. You know what I'm saying? Don't call me American. Right. Don't call me a black person from America. Don't call me. You can't come in and out like that. That's the only thing. Right. Like that's one of the main things. I'm just like like you guys are like literally trying to jump the line, and we have to like nip that shit in the bud. And I know that's gonna piss some people off. Me saying some shit like that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Like, oh motherfucker, what you talking about? You light skin. You ain't got no room to. Okay, that's fine, good and dandy. I've been through this plenty of times. I will go in that arena. But no, it's just like and like what I want to get to, which is the bad thing about this is like what we were like I've talked about this to my uncle, my one of my mentors, and another one of my bosses, that the Indian people and stuff like that, they get their monthly checks from the casinos, and because they're Indian and because they're descendants of Indians, and then because they have they get the land and shit like that. So we've seen what happened to that community. And like don't get me wrong, I know a couple Indian people, and like I'm not trying to shoot nobody down or shoot a culture down, not by no means. I love you guys to death. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Arizona, you guys took me in like I was one of y'all's. And shout out to the Mexicans. But still, like I was like I'm here, and I see the land that they're all living on. They're all living in huts and shit like that. Fine, good and dandy, but they're all drunks. Like you see they're alcoholics, they're drug abusers, and you don't see really a lot of them pushing and striving to be to do anything besides drinking and using alcohol and shit like that. I'm not saying all, I'm just saying some. I'm saying the some that I see. I'll say that. Because
you do know that a lot. You do know that a lot of the descendants of Indians are the people that are in Mexico. We call them Indians and things like that. But look at their skin, look at their features and everything. They're the same. Right. A lot of those people. Not only that, but a lot of the black people. That's where it gets muddied up. So you can still have your Pan-Africanism, but understand, like you said, you got people jumping the line, and this ADOS is something that actually pinpoints something to where you can actually now start talking about reparations and know where to pinpoint and know where to divert it to. Not all of the slaves were African. There was black folks here. There was black Indians. There was Indian tribes. They call them Indians because Columbus believed he was Indian, but there was black tribes that were here already.
Right.
And they got enslaved. They were enslaved within the process also. So yeah, it's just
and so pretty much ending off my little rant was do we really want that? Like, I don't like the bad thing. The reason why I think it could be a bad thing as well is because I know of the mindset of some people, and I know the mindset. I want to say I know the mindset of the people that would do this. They get that little extra 500 to let's just say 500 to 1,000. Let's just say that right now that's the base number. You know what I'm saying? Let's not put really no big number on there. 500 to 1,000. That's the base number that you get every month. Knowing what that did to the Indians and with the alcoholism and shit like that, what is that gonna do to American black people? I'll say, let's say is the crime is high as shit right now, right? Because niggas ain't got no money. Niggas get that $500 check or to $1,000 check every month. Now, what will be good for it is your family. You know what I'm saying? You have extra money for your families. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want people to take advantage of that. Is pretty much what I'm getting to. I don't want you taking advantage of that. And I get $1,000 at the end of the month. I really don't have to work like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we do with Section 8 right now. You know what I'm saying? And if let's just say that happens, they'll be like, oh, we're giving you $500 to $1,000. So that's Section 8. You know what I'm saying? That price could go up. Or though what they're pretty much trying to do now with the food stamps. Oh, you get less food stamps because you have more money to pay, or we pay you money. We pay you that $500 to $1,000 at the end of the month, so you have more money for groceries. And I just don't want us to be complacent. That's what it is. That's my main thing. I don't want us to get complacent with that $500 to $1,000 a month for 12 months. And say $1,000 is $1,200. You know what you could do with that? You can start a business. You know what I'm saying? You can help struggling families can purchase houses. You know what I'm saying? That'll make the house market go up. You know what I'm saying? Because people will be able to buy houses and won't be able to struggle and worry about to pay their next bill and shit like that. That's some good stuff, and there's bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of stuff, but what was you gonna say?
You can what was I about to say? It was just dealing with you can't necessarily, you got to give them the money because they're owed. They're owed that. They're in the predicament because of those type of situations. We can't worry about that because you're gonna have people that do that, that throw their money away. All they're doing is fucking themselves over in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The criminals are gonna do what the criminals do. They gonna get down that way. But this is gonna provide a lot of opportunity to people who are looking for it. So, a lot of people are just gonna throw money away. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen. But it's gonna help build a lot of people businesses and help. You know what I'm saying? Help us help the people who are actually trying to get stuff done. It'll help them come together and start to work those different things out.
Right.
Because damn, what was I say? I mean, Sid, you just I lost it. I had a point. I had something fire, man. I lost it completely. It's gonna help a lot of people out. You can't just go with the mindset of they gonna throw the money. I mean, if they give the money, they give the money, but it's something. It's money that they're owed. You know what I'm saying? It's something that'll, like I said, it'll benefit a lot of people, and it'll help the people who are trying to build. They'll be able to build something,
right?
And that's something that'll affect the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? That'll affect the rest of the people, and the people who are trying to, you know what I'm saying, do some better things. It'll create a fair world. You know what I'm saying? It'll never be all the way rectified, but it'll create a fairer playing field, so to say. I forgot exactly what. There was something that I was really gonna that you were saying.
What was it about the housing market or something like that? I mean,
yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Go ahead.
About housing, yeah, that's exactly what it is. See, those are government assistance. We really don't need the government. We don't need the government. We just need what we're owed, and we need ourselves, and start making moves, and we need them to leave us the fuck alone. Because anytime the government's got involved, you know what I'm saying, it's shit's went to hell. We really don't need them. We really don't need them right now. You know what I'm saying? We really don't need them right now. We need to come together because they're not going to fix. The governments will never fix the problem, the issues that are mentally going on in the black community today. The government has nothing to do with that. They could never fix that. And any black person that thinks that they're going to do that is foolish. That's something that's on black folks. We got to fix that shit. And then can't nobody else fix that. So with this reparation and things like that, this is just an added bonus to something that is owed to us. Now, if they never decide to give it to us, that's fine and dandy, because what's happening now in the community still has to be changed, because we can still come up with what we got now. We can come up with what we got now, but we choose not to because we're just ignorant to. They're not ignorant in the literal sense. We're ignorant to the different things and the different methods that we can do to solve these problems.
Right.
And we're not changing the mindset and not changing the paradigm and the shifting the way that we're thinking and things that we think is just normal. Like, we really have to be just, so to say, I guess, the tight ass. We have to act holier than thou and have to attack different things. No, we're not. I'm not holier than thou. Different things, but we have to pinpoint and we have to call out every little. We have to be nitpicky. We have to, because that's the only way anything's gonna change. That's how white people keep different stuff, and they keep not only that, they have help and they have taxes funded back into their community, but they actually also are able to keep certain things out and certain behaviors, because, you know what I mean, shit, if they see one thing, they see something that looks suspicious, they calling the police off the flip, you know, whereas and part of it's the police fault, a lot of it's the police fault, but some of it's part of the rap and, you know, stuff like that, and different things that we put into our mind and telling each other that, you know, we don't even want to, you know, you see, remember when Cameron's talking about if somebody gets raped next door and things like that, he ain't telling nobody, he ain't calling the police and stuff like that. It's that type of mindset and things like that. So we got to work out those things in our head. The reparation things is just a bonus and something that's owed to us and something that'll help elevate us. But they don't want to give that to us because they fear that.
Oh yeah, man. So like I also like I said, I was talking to my boss, one of my bosses, and my one of my mentors, and he was telling me, because I was like, so if we, let's say we get the money, you know what I'm saying? Let's say we get the money, but we don't really want no, we get the money, but that they don't give us a lot of money. So what would be a better option besides money? And he told me land. Land is so fucking valuable. Money has nothing. Money really, money is nothing compared to land, because land you can get that down to generations of your generations. So I'm here. I'm thinking like, yo, because they offered us 40 acres and a mule, and they took that shit right back. You know what I'm saying? They took that shit right back. I was like, oh yeah, we're not getting that shit. We're not giving out that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make you purchase this land. We're gonna purchase this land, but we're gonna put houses and shit on it. So you have to buy that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't know what the best reparations would be for us, but I'm saying land and a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say land and a little bit of money.
The best reparations for us will always be us figuring it out on our own and changing our mindset. You know, beginning in our mind. That'll be the best reparations. But as far as if the government wants to get involved and they want to start involving black people in the politics and things like that, well, we got some stuff that we won't. You know what I'm saying? That y'all gonna have to, y'all owe us. If y'all don't want to owe us, y'all don't want to do that for us, stay the fuck away from us. Stay the fuck away. Don't even try to include us in your politics and trying to leverage, well, do you want Donald Trump in the office for another 4 years and stuff? I could give a fuck. But what you're not going to do is try to leverage that over us and try to hold us hostage. So, you know, because of make it all about Trump. And so we keep going through all this time and keep joining in these elections, but we're not getting something that's specifically, you know what I'm saying, given, you know, specifically given to us, you know what I'm saying, that's owed to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But there's like land. That's even better than money. Mm-hmm. Land is even better than money. But both, man. Yeah. Both to help. Both to help. Break off that money. Support that ADOS movement. Gotta get that out here. And right now, my eyes are on Marianne Williamson.
I've never heard of her.
That's the one that was that's the one that started talking about reparations. That's the one that began to talk about reparations, and not only did she begin to talk, but she met with the actual leaders, not people, not just Al Sharpton and all those guys and people you see on the silly ass people you see on TV, Roland Martin she talked with the originators of the ADOS movement.
And I want to shout, let's please shout them out, because I remember when niggas was shitting on ADOS, big time shitting on ADOS from all public platforms and shit like that. And like when one, I guess you would say, presidential candidate wanted to bring it up, you know what I'm saying, and say that they were down with it, and everybody was like, oh shit, well, I might be down with that too. Now everybody's running with it, and it just pisses me off, because I'm like, dog, y'all was just talking shit about Tone, and I forgot what the young lady's name was. And her. Y'all was just talking shit on them and talking about that. Y'all, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But now it's all guns ho for ADOS, you know what I'm saying, and reparations for black people. Now I just want my people to do good. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's the main thing I want. I just want people to like show respect to the people that was down in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Bringing this shit when it was a baby for what it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that just pissed me off. My bad. Go ahead.
Because they continue to underestimate these movements that are going on social media. There's a lot of good stuff that's going on. They underestimating, like they always do. They always underestimate, the different powers and the different ways that, we're able to make shit happen. I mean, hell, even like us talking about like a week ago, even if you look at the situation with Baffa Jean and that murder and the witness that was bringing forth her video evidence and things like that, she's going, she brought it to the advice show, Phil from the advice show brought it to his media site, because she doesn't want her stuff. She wants it to be, first of all, she knows that it's a platform that's going to be for her. It's black folks. It's black owned. So you're supporting that, and you're going to get the real version of things, and not something that's edited and doctored out, and they cutting out the interview to make it look like she's saying certain things, or cutting out important parts, just putting out a piece of the interview, because that's all that's going to be. That's all that's going to be published in the news. So then, and they always done that. And so now, after she did that, they go around talking about, well, what's this guy got that we don't have?
Right.
It's like, he's got something that can broadcast, and he's got an audience. They underestimating the audience and the black people, the black folk audience in our media. What we got going on, they're underestimating that, because they think, it's a big name and it's something that's being nationally syndicated and things like that, okay, that don't mean nothing. And you know what I'm saying? And people are seeing through it more and more. So yeah, so they same way, the news sites underestimated that. These people they underestimated the news sites dealing with the presidential race and things like that. You even had foolish people. I've never been able. I've never could stand Angela Rye. She's always been ignorant, just loud, over emotional, and things like that. And she was one of the ones talking about these are bots. These are Russian bots and shit like that. She doesn't do any. She barely does any research on a lot of things. She was talking about American. The slaves were immigrants and things like that. They got her on recorded saying that, and then comes out saying, "Oh, I never said that. I never said they were immigrants and shit like that." Just people.
Yeah.
So they ain't got no choice. They ain't got no choice if they don't want to look stupid, then they ain't got no choice but to switch up and hop on board.
Yeah. All right. Real quick. So Gucci Shade said, "I'm not black." I mean, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? You still one of the family. So shout out to you. But yeah, man. Gucci Shades.
Oh, is that a comment?
Yeah. Gucci Shades from Twitch. So yeah, I mean, yeah. With all that being said, man, we could go on that for hours and hours. But all right. So do you have it? Did you have anything else? Because I know we wanted to say that the Democrat thing for Thursday.
Yeah, we'll get more into that on Thursday. But no, I ain't got nothing else on that. Just any slander, people use your brains here. I know it's easy. A lot of people, because they have these big followings, and that's the other side of YouTube too. But I agree with. I love free speech, because even if you're wrong or whatever, intelligent people can discern between and they can make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? And I like people to put their information, because you're gonna get a bunch of bullshit on in all regular media is bullshit anyway. So I'd rather it be on a free speech type of platform like YouTube or on social media, things like that. I'd rather it be on there. But understand, just because they have a big following doesn't mean that they're right on everything. And I fuck with Irritated Genie. I'm subscribed to his channel. I've been fucking with him for years before I even knew about Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell. But he's definitely wrong on this and trying to equate that to the. And I've said this before with some of the stuff. I think sometimes he is reaching when it comes to the homosexual agenda. On some of that, he is reaching, but I say about 90% of the time he's on point, and he's pointing out all the bullshit. But this is one of those 10% where, homie, you completely wrong. There's no correlation in what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? There's no way LBGT or anything that has nothing to do. There's people, and even with that, there's people who are probably gay, whatever. But if they have descendants of slaves, of black slaves, of people who are black slaves, if they have descendants of that, then they deserve something. That's simple.
Facts.
You can't. There's no way to muddy or mix that up. There's no. And he did a good job. Him along with this other guy, Dane Calloway. They did a good job of exposing the homosexual agenda behind Black Lives Matter. Now there was much validity behind that, and there was proof. But that's the wrong one, man. This is just slandering, and something that's you're going against something that can help. That can help the solution. That can help the issue.
Right.
It's not the full solution, but it can definitely help push toward financing and allowing the right people to get those solutions, because it's hard to get it out here, especially if you're not, kissing ass or something, and you out there trying to beg a white man for a job and shit like that. Like, that's tougher. So this just makes it easier, man.
Yeah, that's facts. All right, so we're gonna do the question of the day. Question of the day today is it disrespectful if a man asks for a DNA test before the baby is born? Yes or no, and why? That's the question I propose to everybody today, man. So, question of the day. I'm gonna say, I'll say nah, not really. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least 2019, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, that's a completely different story. But yeah, man, like if the baby comes out, let's just say the baby comes out, and I got skeptical. I'm like, whoa, hold on, the baby, you know what I'm saying? He probably ain't got none of my facial features, or da 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 da. I'm not gonna sign the birth certificate till I get the DNA test, because let's say. Now, motherfuckers gonna probably hate me. If I sign the birth certificate before, that means that is my child. And if it's not my child, the DNA test comes back and it's not my child, I have to pay child support. I get stuck with bills because you wanted to lie to me and say that was my kid. And I have faith and trust in you, and I find out it's not my kid. So, no, motherfucker. I will sign the documents after the baby comes out and we get the DNA test. Yeah, I mean that's my answer. That's definitely my answer. Now, don't get me wrong, if I do find a young lady or two that I can actually trust, why not? And the baby come out looking like me, of course. Wow, wow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, what about you, Corey?
Yeah, no, it's never disrespectful. If you're not in no relation, like, and I say relationship as, something that you can visually see as exclusive, and that's why it's always best, and that's why the Bible tells you to wait till marriage, so people don't get muddied up and don't get in these confusing situations. But people like to disregard the Bible. It's literally a book of life telling you how to how to live and go through life, you know what I'm saying, without and have the least amount of stress on you. Right. But we're looking at it as, it's just saying, heaven and hell ain't real. We don't know about heaven and hell, things like that. But it's been they've just taken the Bible somewhere else. It's literally a book of life, and it's giving you the rules to the game and how to move to keep stress out of your life. And if you don't follow it, you see everybody who does the opposite of what the different things it says in the Bible, you see they have a stressful life. Mm-hmm. So I really would hope that the person that you're marrying, or you know what I'm saying, or have that exclusive relationship, this person that you trust, it's a problem that if you have to ask them, you know, to get a DNA test after you had sex with them or whatever, and she gets pregnant, you asking for a DNA test. That's an issue. That's an issue. That means y'all got some trust. Something needs to be worked out because y'all not on the same page, and that's what this is. That's what this is, you know, all about. If y'all not on the same page, y'all just wasting each other's time. Now, as far as some chick that you just fucking, you know what I'm saying, in the street, or whatever, hell yeah, you got every right to sit there and ask for a DNA test to make sure it's all right. I don't care if you know, she tells you, you're the only person I've been with and all that. Ain't nothing wrong with being safe and going out of your way, being safe and making sure, you don't get caught up. So, you know, if she denies that and doesn't want to do that, that should raise some red flags. Who cares about her? Not only, you know, red flags as, you know, she may have fucked somebody else. That may not be the case, but it'll raise red flags to other things later down, you know, in the relationship, you know, way she responds to things. She's not looking at it from a practical way. She's just getting overly emotional, and right. she's taking it personal instead of, you know, looking at, hey, this guy wants to look out for his safety. We're not together in any form, you know what I'm saying? We're just fucking. So, you know, and I want to get mad because he asked for that. No, that's stupid on the female's part. And that's just proof that you shouldn't even be dealing with that bitch from the first place. But like I said, there's laws that's already, not laws, but there's game that's already been put telling you how to live. And if you don't follow that, these are the type of issues, and that's why you'll start to run into those type of females because you don't want to listen. You just take it as, it's just some book, and they talking a bunch of fables and saying a bunch of stories. No, it's a book of game. It's telling you exactly how to live. It's telling you it's best to wait till you're married, vet the person, and things like that. Now, people still gonna do what they do, but it's telling you what's best and the way to live so you can be stress-free and not do something that's gonna affect you and keep affecting you. Right. Now you're paying child support because you're dealing with some fucked up or vengeful, childish-ass woman, or vice versa. You're dealing with some crazy-ass man or whatever. Follow the game that's been people who have lived here before you. Follow the game that they've laid down for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to read. We have to read, and we got to introduce more critical thinking. They have to introduce more critical thinking. But yeah, like I said, you know, for summary of it all, if you got to ask your wife or somebody who's close to you, exclusive with you got to ask them something like that, it's a problem. But if y'all don't have that exclusivity, or y'all not, y'all don't have that going on, and she comes up pregnant, you have every right in the world. Hell no, it's not disrespectful. It's disrespectful if she gets mad. It's disrespectful as fuck, and she's showing you her true colors. So yeah.
Yep. So I mean, on that note, man, this has been episode 121 of the Average Guy Podcast, man, on the Average Guy Studios. What I need you guys to do before we bounce out of here is, I need you guys to go in the links in the description below. There is a link tree. There's a link tree, so you'll be able to find the Average Guy, the Average Guy Facebook page, the Average Guy Instagram page. You'll also be able to find the YouTube page, Average Guy Studios, and the website. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the website is still up there. Yeah, and what I need you guys to also do is, man, Grit Sports Media, man, for all your sports need, Corey, let them know what they'll begin with Grit Sports.
The sports, man. Come get the sports, man. All the good shit is going on right now. Check it out. Just got the free agent, the deadline, free agency's about to start in the NFL and everything. Bunch of trades going on, so check it out. Keep the update on the important things and the big stories. So yep.
Also, we also have a new page out. Is Grit Culture. Corey, let them know what they'll begin with Grit Culture.
Grit Culture. This is for the culture. This is just giving out the highlights of the culture. We got too much bullshit that's put on, not just negativity. Like I said, you do want to shed light on bad things to keep people aware, but I want to also give history. Sometimes it may be history that's uncomfortable to look at, but it's positive. Anything like that is positive, and I just want to give highlights of some highlights of different things within our within Black culture, and like I said, beyond. Some things that a lot of people may not know. A lot of people don't like to read and stuff like that. So hey, we're gonna put it right in front of your face. So yeah.
All right, and also, Lojo Speaks, man. My brother Lauren couldn't be here right now, but Lojo Speaks, we pretty much just helping to raise men. You know what I'm saying? We want the boys to become men. We don't want the men to be staying boys. You know what I'm saying? We want them to be able to go out in life and do better. You know what I'm saying? And also for the mothers, grandmothers, and I forgot what the whole line was. My bad. But yeah, man, we think it can also help you guys as well. You know what I'm saying? So Lojo Speaks, down the link in the description. Make sure you guys hit the like and the notification button. So whenever something drops for either one of these, the Average Guy Podcast, Grit Sports Media, Grits Culture, or Lojo Speaks, man, when anything jumps off, you know what I'm saying? And you guys will be the first ones to know. So with all that being said, man, this has been another episode of the Average Guy Podcast on the Average Guy Studios, man, and we're out. Peace.